Hey everybody, I am on for the midweek message reveal Wednesday, April 24th. All right, so welcome to this week of energy and all of the big shifts and all of the things. I feel like I say the same thing every week. So last night we had the full moon in Scorpio, also known as a pink moon. And this moon is designed to kind of open up the wounding that we all experience, being a human, the things that we've gone through as children, the things that we've experienced through loss and gain, and just the experience of living life on this planet. And with the moon energy in a water sign, and Scorpio being the death and rebirth energy, wants to come through and really kind of do a cleaning of the house that is you and your shit. So if you feel some things coming up, especially in the area of, resources in the material world, that's happening now because of the Taurus energy that we've moved into. So Taurus, while it is very grounding and it is very, Taurus are the builders. They're the ones that want to create from the physical world. But at the same time, they are super stubborn and fixed in their ways as a fixed sign. So to encounter Taurus fixed energy with a fixed Scorpio water moon, we have a lot of releasing around what it feels like to be truly frustrated and truly wanting to have what you want and not necessarily knowing if you have the resources for said thing, and your ability to provide for yourself and others, and your ability to create your own happiness. So those are some of the themes that come up. Now we are literally 24 hours away from Mercury Retrograde, no longer being retrograde, but going direct in Aries. So that direction, as it moves forward, is going to flip over and move into Taurus soon. Now, as we know, with retrogrades and Mercury itself, you experience a 2-week period before the actual retrograde and 2 weeks after, known as the shadow period. So we will be experiencing that. It's not to say that things are just going to, be like, everything's perfect, but things will start to move that have had a lot of issues with just the bureaucratic admin things. If you have been experiencing this, it has been rife in my life with all that shit. Literally just things that you would think would be a normal thing to input into a form. It's just wrong or backwards. People, you can't contact one another, and all of that good stuff. So you've made it to this point. Congratulations. You did the best you could, and you deserve to be grounded in a place of respite. And that's what moving from the Aries energy of chaos and a lot of tumult because of the eclipses and these huge events that we've never experienced before, it brings us to a different level of upheaval. And on the world stage, we see that in our day-to-day. So the messages here this week are really to kind of tie yourself back to yourself, turn yourself around and look back in, see where it is that you need to align more with your inner wisdom and your intuition. And that seems to be the themes that are coming up from this first quarter of the year, that the answers lie within, and you are in a place where you're learning how to trust yourself. And the only way you can build trust is to go through experiences that question that. So if you're experiencing that, there you go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to jump into the cards here. And this is a deck that is what is it called? It's the medicinal cannabis deck. Something like that. Metaphysical, medicinal. I mean, it's both, right? Both and. But as you know, if you've been watching me and working with me, I kind of do things on my own and interpret things as I like to interpret them. That's how I use my intuition and my gifts. So what you might see might be a bit different. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead here. And so if you chose one, your card is Mabudi, the key. Okay. First, while I believe that this Mabudi character is to be masculine, I'm really drawn to the androgyny that is coming through, because there is a true calm vibe that's coming through, as well as the keys, as a softening and a receiving. The energy here for you, one, is that you're in a place where you're kind of redefining what it is to be you. The age you're at is feeling different than when you were younger and thought about yourself at the age that you are. The environment in which you thought you'd be an adult in is different than what you had anticipated, and in a sense makes you feel almost like checking over your shoulder to make sure you're doing it right. You're doing it right. That's, first off, the main message to you, one. You're doing it right. You're not doing anything wrong. And you can take that wherever it needs to go, because it's a kind of blanket statement for everybody here. There's a real feeling of insecurity around your ability to console yourself and soothe, because you've been so pushed. And this is because of the transits that we're experiencing currently, and also because of the energy of late, right? And also because this energy has kind of collided with things that are in your experience and created like almost a perfect storm. And it's not storm in a negative way. It's storm in a way that is a natural force of something that's to come in and cause a bit of ruckus and then allow itself to move through. But in the effort of destruction to a degree, there is a clearing away, there is a shedding. So I wouldn't be surprised if you've experienced a real emotional sort of release with this energy of the moon of late. Also with the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction over the weekend, there's almost like an airy-fairy sort of vibe around it. So if you're feeling really spaced out, that might be why as well. But the answer here is that you are the key, and you hold that ability to unlock whatever it is you're seeking. It's not outside yourself. So you don't need another something. You don't need to be a certain someone in order to get to the next level here or to be considered right. You're right as you are. You've already got the goods. Okay, so trust yourself. You are the key. All right, 2, if you chose 2, your card is Truth Aura. Okay, so for me, with the energy of the heart, it's more the juiciness of the heart itself that is really drawing to me. So 2, there's a connection that you're experiencing because of this heavy water energy that has come through within the last week. And that water energy is kind of flushing you out, and it's washing away. I'm seeing actually like the tide when it comes in, and it kind of kisses up against a sandcastle, and as it does so, it starts to gradually erode. But the integrity of the castle itself still stands, but it changes. You're in a place where you are being emotionally broken down, not in a negative way, but literally kind of taken to a different level of depth within yourself because you've had to be so vulnerable. And with that, you've uncovered a lot of truths about yourself and some things that you've believed, that you've started to question whether or not they're true. And it's something that's a belief you've carried with yourself since you were 8 years old. An event, something around that time, whether it was an important person that was in your life that moved out. It can be something like an experience that made you feel especially like needing to be dependent upon someone else, feeling especially small. That vibe is coming through, and that's what you are releasing, is the fear around what it is to truly open yourself up. And there's a lot of heart expansion that's happening for you too. You've had to come to terms with some truths about yourself, with yourself, and that can be some of the hardest work. It's some of the hardest conversations that you can have, because we know ourselves. We know how to duck and hide and disassociate. But the truth that's coming here for you too is that is that you have to pay attention to the fact that you have a hand in all of this. The negativity and the stuff that's going on, you have a hand in it because there's a part of you that believes it, and there's a part of you that expects things to go a certain way, and that doesn't necessarily mean in a positive way. Because if you can put yourself out there and say you tried and it doesn't go your way, at least you did that. At least you showed up. But opening yourself up to the true possibility that things could work out in your favor the way that you want is not something that feels aligned, because you're working on your self-concept and how you feel about yourself. So self-love is up here. The truth about you standing in your own way, while it is your ego and an aspect of you that's trying to protect yourself, you're kind of blocking yourself from what it is that you want. So take a look at that. Have a conversation with yourself about that, because it's all in flux. It's all able to change. This reminds me of like an oil slick in a parking lot. It's beautiful in its messiness. Just like you. All right, moving on to 3. All right, if you chose 3, your card is Sanyin, and it's grace. Now, this character, Sanyin, is a forest god of the forest. The connection now with you 3, you have such an ability to really get a lot out of the physical environment now that we've moved into a Taurus space, which is very grounded into the earth. It's very much the bull, right? It's a big mofo. He ain't going nowhere unless he wants to. But when he wants to move, shit moves, right? That analogy is something you have to kind of keep in your mind here, because you have the ability to access the rest and the respite required to do the bull in China shop demolition that you want to do on life, okay? And the things that you want to do and have come next. But you gotta rest. And the resting is the part that's most important, because, and I know that this is like how the character is, but he's like amputated, right? You literally are cutting off limbs to spite your face in a lot of these situations. You're going to burn out harder than you need to in order for you to pay attention that you need to rest, okay? Because you can't get anywhere on an empty tank, and you've been kind of burning the candle at both ends. How many, like, idioms can I throw in here? Analogies. Sayings. You are not immobilized. And you don't need to be immobilized, but you do need to rest. You need to take yourself off the hook about it too, because it seems like there's always something that you should be doing. You're shoulding all over yourself. So stop with the shoulds too. And the interpersonal relationship stuff will fade out. A lot of it is kind of static from Mercury Retro. So allow yourself some space and some time away. Disconnect a bit. You've earned it. And would you, if you need someone to tell you to do it, here I am. Do it, please. Rest, relax, recoup. Okay, so those are the messages this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you would like to work with me, I would love to hear from you. So please reach out at my website, or you could shoot me a message, an email, whatever. Thank you so much. I would love to hear your feedback. So tell me how this landed for you, and I will check you guys next week. So make sure you rest, chill out, have a good time, go eat some popcorn. All right, bye.